I bow to all the seekers of truth. At the very outset, I have to tell you that truth is what it is. We cannot change it, we cannot organize it, and we cannot conceptualize it. We cannot know it at this human awareness. To know the truth, we have to become a subtler being, the spirit. Every scripture has said that you are to be born again. But it's not just a certificate, it's not just a brand, it's a happening within us. It's the last breakthrough of our evolution. From amoeba to this stage we have come. And now we have to ascend a little more to become the spirit. This is the truth, that you are the spirit, not this body, not this mind, not this ego, not these conditionings, but you are pure spirit. The second truth is that there is an all-pervading power of divine love, which does all the living work. We take these flowers for granted. We take the life for granted. We take our being for granted. We never even think how we have been made, how we have become human beings. This power, which is doing all the living work, is the one which we call as the power of God's love, or the power of the Holy Ghost, or you can say the Brahma Chaitanya. In the Quran is described as Ruh. Unless and until you become the spirit, you cannot know the absolute truth. This is the reason why there are problems, why we are quarreling, why there are discussions. But once you become the spirit, spirit in every human being has the same truth, which is absolute. Apart from that, this spirit, which manifests in your attention, makes your attention active. It acts, and acts for the benevolence of your being and for the benevolence of the human race, entire human race. Today we are facing all kinds of problems, and we do not understand why we are here. We are here to enter into the kingdom of God. It's the easiest thing to do is to enter into the kingdom of God, but we do not know that He Himself is so anxious that we should enter into His kingdom and enjoy the bliss of His love. When I say all these things, you may start doubting that how can it be? How can it happen? Also, you can doubt about this mechanism, this beautiful mechanism, which is built within us since the creation in our different stages of evolution. But I would suggest that you should have a very scientific outlook. You should keep your mind open. Some people say there is no God. I think this is extremely unscientific to say, because you must first find out there is God or not, where there is this divine power or not, or also if there is a higher awareness for us or not. Without that, how can you just deny something in which you have not made any inquiry or research? So, when we become the spirit, our attention becomes, as I said, active, knowledgeable. That is, our central nervous system gets a new awareness in it, a new dimension that we call as collective consciousness. It's described by Jung, thank God he has described it, though he was a scientist, he has described that at a higher awareness we'll become collectively conscious. Means we'll be conscious about ourselves, no doubt. We'll have self-knowledge. We'll know all about our centers. But we'll also know the centers of others. We'll know them in their subtle being, not how they look, how they dress up, not these external things. But internally, we'll know what's their problem, what are their centers. We can feel them on our central nervous system. We can feel them on our fingertips. Muhammad Sahib has described that at the time of your resurrection, at the time of Qiyamah, your hands will speak and will give witness against you. Means they'll tell you what's wrong with you. You will know this is wrong, that is wrong. And once you know how to correct it, once you know how to correct the exhaustion of these centers, then you can completely get cured of malfunctioning of these centers. For example, the centers are like this left and right. He has told you already there are two sympathetic nervous systems, and they form the center in the spinal cord like this, which is actually the parasympathetic nervous system. Now when you start using this power too much to the right or to the left, you see the constriction takes place, and there's a very little energy left in these chakras, in these centers. But sometimes it so happens with a shock, it may just break. When it breaks, then you lose your contact with your central nervous system. Then you are on your own. Such malignancy is set in, or we can call it the psychosomatic, many diseases come in. These diseases can be cured, and they have been cured also. When the Kundalini rises, she passes through all these centers, strews them just like a thread strews the pearls, and nourishes them. And then she passes through the seventh chakra and pierces through the fontanelle bone area, where you feel the cool breeze coming out of your head. You yourself feel the cool breeze all around. This cool breeze now gives you all the information that you want, because you know the absolute truth. You can ask, is there God? You start feeling more cool breeze. You can ask about somebody who is a cheat and is come here to teach us about, say, God. Immediately you might feel heat or maybe little blister also, just as a barometer. You might feel that person who is cheating you clearly on your fingertips. Then gradually as you grow, you can feel it within yourself as soon as you see the person, what sort of person is this? So within us lies our divinity. Within us we are divine people. We are great and gracious. Not only that, but we are really majestically divine. And we have to touch that divinity within us. Once we touch that divinity within us, we'll be amazed to know how great you are and what is in for you in future. The first thing, as I told you, happens to you that you know the truth. Everybody who is a Sahaja Yogi knows the truth, and there is no quarrel between them, no question. We meet annually in a place called Ganpatipure in India. There are 500 to 600 people, and this time we had people representing 56 nations. Can you imagine? All races, all types of people, and such love, such enjoyment of friendship, such purity among themselves. That is really, when you see that, you think these are angels, or what has happened to them? Are they human beings? Such respect for nature, such respect for everyone, and such understanding of the value of human life. All this happens to you because you have become the spirit. Now it is I would say, a new race, you can say, is established of people who follow the religion which is of the universal nature. In this, all the religions are integrated. You will understand that all these great incarnations and all these great prophets and saints, all of them, were flowers on the same tree of life. Only we have plucked them, and we are fighting with these dead flowers. When we fight with these dead flowers, we don't realize that we have plucked them from the same tree of spirituality. They all are just the same, came at different times to solve the problems of different times and different people of different conditionings. But if you say in essence, they are all the same, working out for this last breakthrough of yours. To understand that, first of all, you have to have your awakening. That is, something like this instrument has got something to be connected to the mains. If it is not connected to the mains, it has no meaning. In the same way, if you are not connected to the mains, that is yoga, when that yoga has not taken place, that union has not taken place, then we have no identity. We don't know what are we here for. But once it is connected, we know what's the use of this instrument and how to use it. Not only that, but we become the instrument. We become the divine computer, and we become what we have to be. The second thing that happens to you, that when the Kundalini rises, this power rises, she crosses over this center. When she crosses over this center, then you attain a state of bliss, because that time you become thoughtlessly aware. Means we think about the future, we think about the past. But if I say you stand in the presence, you cannot. You cannot stand in the present, because present doesn't exist for you. But as soon as this Kundalini arrives and crosses this center, then you will be surprised your thoughts become very elongated, and there's a space in between, and that space is the present. In the present, there is no thought. And when you are in the present, your spirituality grows and touches that divinity which lies within us. This is what happens to you when you get the awakening of your Kundalini. After that, when it grows higher and higher, when it is settled down, this connection is fully established. Then we call the second state, which we call as the doubtless awareness. The first one is called as Nirvichar Samadhi, and the second one as Nirvikalpa Samadhi, means there's no doubts about it. It's not a mental thing. It's a state where you start giving realization to others, curing others, and understanding everything what is Sahaja Yoga is. Sahaja, Saha means with, Ja means born. With you is born is this right to be united with this great power of divine love. It is with you, born with you. It's your own mother who gives you this second birth, and then you understand the purpose of your life. Attention becomes so active that if you pay attention to something, you have to be in that depth, of course, at that height, then even attention itself will act and will give benefit to the person about whom you are thinking, about the cause which you are thinking, or about any purpose that you have in mind. Such a person has such a pure glance that this glance can immediately cure or can give realization to people. So one has to understand that all this purity comes through this awakening of the Kundalini. To say that you have done this mistake or that mistake is not important, because after all you are a human being. And a human being has to make mistakes. They are not gods. So not to feel bad and sorry and guilty about it. This, of course, I'll tell you, is one of the greatest conditions that you get your realization, that you are not to feel that you are guilty. On the contrary, you enter into the realm of joy. Joy is something which is not in duality. It doesn't have happiness and unhappiness. But it is just joy. And that you see the whole world as a witness, as a drama. And then you know how to solve your problems. Because you are out of that problem and you can see clearly what the problem is and you can solve it. So you fall into the ocean of joy and you enjoy life, enjoy others, enjoy everything, and while enjoying everything, automatically through your personality, the vibrations of divine love are emitted. And such a person, even the presence of such a person, can solve many problems. Now we have to have people who are seekers. We cannot do this to people who just come here for curiosity. But people who are really seeking the truth get it very fast. Supposing somebody says that I'll give you so much money, you awaken my Kundalini. I'll say, I'm sorry. The Kundalini doesn't understand money. She doesn't. Like the Mother Earth, she doesn't understand any money. She gives you all these fruits and flowers without taking any money. In the same way, you must know that anybody who says that we take money for this course or we take money for your awareness is not only a hypocrite but a real sinner. Because you cannot take money in the name of God. It's all right, you have to build a hall, all right, you take money for that. That's a material thing. But to say that for this knowledge of the divine we take money, or for your ascent we take money, is absolutely wrong. So far, we have seen that this ascent has worked very well, but the best it has worked in Russia, surprisingly, because I do not consider India to be compared, because in India we have this knowledge from ancient times, and we had only the problem was that this awakening of the Kundalini was given by one master to one disciple. That was the tradition. But in the 12th century, there was a great saint called Gyaneshwara who broke this tradition, and he asked his master, his elder brother was his master, that just please allow me to at least write it down, let people know. Though in the Sanskrit language we have many books and many treatises about it. 14,000 years back, Markandeya wrote about Kundalini. But he wrote it in Marathi language, which is a local language, or we can say which is a vernacular language, in which he wrote that there is this Kundalini which has to be awakened, otherwise you cannot get your realization. But the people who were in charge of religion, we call them Dharma Martanda, they said, no. This chapter is to be closed, Nishiddha, this we are not to touch. And that's how this knowledge of Kundalini went into the hands of Tantrikas. And these are the people who are culprits. These are the people who have no right to talk about Kundalini. But they are the ones who are doing black magic in the name of God. Such things happened in the 6th century when Adi Shankaracharya came, and he flouted them, and he wrote lots of things about it. And he called these vibrations of Saundarya Lahari, meaning the beautiful vibrations. He describes it in a beautiful way. And after that, we had many poets, many saints who have sung song of Kundalini and have described, like Kabira, Nanaka, all of them has talked about. Throughout India, there has been a talk about Kundalini. But in the Bible also, it is said that I will appear before you like tongues of flames. These chakras look like tongues of flames, beautiful. And not only that, the tree of life is this. Even in Quran, it is called as Asas. In all, the Tao is nothing but the Kundalini. Zen is also dealing with Kundalini. So all of them have talked about it Even Mahavira has talked about it, Buddha has talked about it. So everybody has said that this power has to be awakened within you. Especially Buddha has said that there is going to be a new incarnation of Matraya, meaning the three mothers coming together in one, Matraya. And it works wonder with this understanding that it is going to be a feminine incarnation which is going to save people. But somehow or other, people didn't want to have that accepted. And so they thought that how can that be a woman? And they avoided this topic. And today also somebody asked me lots of questions about it. So I said that for God there's nothing like man and woman, like sun and sunlight, like moon and moonlight. God and the primordial mother are one. We say that there is Father who is God. Then there is the Son who is God. And then the Holy Ghost. Now you just ask a question, how can you have a father and a son without the mother? So they kept it a mystery all throughout. What is the Holy Ghost? Christ has said, I'll send you the Holy Ghost. They described it very clearly. But they just didn't want to talk about it. They didn't want to know about it. And that's how in every religion there has been a very, very big problem that they do not relate to each other. And so we have here Saddam Hussein, there we have Hitler, we have all kinds of horrible devils coming on this earth in the name of God. I would request you now, if you want, to ask me questions, because it's important. Sometimes what happens that while we are going through the procedure of meditation, you may think, I haven't asked this question. So it's better that you ask question, and you are absolutely free to ask. I respect your freedom. But only thing I have to suggest that I am not here to take votes from you. I am not in the politics. Nor am I here to take any money from you or anything. I am here just to give you the key to your own self. So relevant to that, if you ask me questions, I'll be very, very thankful. And it will be a good idea if you can really ask me questions. Thank you very much.
Any questions? Don't you have to overcome the senses before you can awaken the Kundalini?
No. That's the thing. You see, this was done long time back. People tried to overcome the senses, then release one Kundalini, one chakra, then another chakra and all that. But this modern one has become like a jet Kundalini, I think. It just rises. As you have grown so big, this tree of civilization has grown so big, that also the depth of those roots have to grow. And this is the knowledge of the roots. And I find they have grown so much that it's like a jet, the Kundalini rises. You'll be surprised to see how it rises. Then, in the light of the Spirit, you see yourself very clearly. Like I gave an example of a snake, that you are holding on to a snake and it's all darkness and you are in ignorance completely, and so you are very obstinate also. And somebody says, no, there's a snake in your hand, please throw it out. You say, no, I can't. This is a rope I am holding on to. Till the snake bites, you will go on holding on to it. But supposing there is a flicker of light, immediately you throw it away. In the same way, this modern Sahaja Yoga, it has reached such a stage that when the Kundalini rises, the light of that spirit shows the problem. And you yourself become your own master. And you just throw it away. You will be surprised in England when I first started Sahaja Yoga. The people who were taking drugs, they were all very well educated professors and teachers and professionals who came to me. Imagine, had taken to drugs as if it's a big religion now and we are going to discover something great, you see. It was big martyrdom about it. And they came to Sahaja Yoga and overnight they gave it up. overnight. Even alcoholism, overnight they gave up. I must say the English are difficult nuts to break otherwise. But with Kundalini, it worked out. And then they took to all the studying of it and searching of it and all that. And they have really gone very high up. They are really the foundation, I would say, for Sahaja. Wonderful people. They came all the way to Russia to help me, but the best part was 25 Germans. They just rushed to Russia. It was so joy-giving to see the Russians going to rescue the Germans going to rescue the Russians. And they said, Mother, see, it's our duty. Our forefathers have hurt them so much and we have to do something about it. Really, I was filled with such joy and such bliss that look at this, how they are feeling concerned about Russians that they have to do this for them. And Russians and Germans became such friends, such beautiful relations were established between them. So it's something that happens to you, that a little light, immediately you start improving yourself. Actually, I never tell, don't do. Supposing I say you don't drink, half of you might go away. But once you get it, I don't have to tell you anything. You do whatever is benevolent for you.
Could you explain how a pure glance can heal?
What?
Pure glance? In other words, if you can heal someone just by looking at them.
Pure glance can
heal.
Yeah. You see, first you develop the pure glance. That's a better idea. A pure glance has the power in the eyes of purity. You see, a soap can cleanse you. How does a soap cleanse you? It doesn't get dirty. In the same way, a person who's pure can heal, because these eyes are full of innocence and love. We have never known the power of love so far. We only know the power of hatred. But when you will know the power of love, you will be amazed how dynamic it is and how compassionate, how brilliant, and how efficient.
Is the awakening of Kundalini the same as Buddha's enlightenment?
Of course. Very much so. See, Buddha Shabda means, this comes from the word Bodha, Buddha. Buddha means to know on your central nervous system. Also Veda. Veda words comes from the word Veda, which is the gerund, and which means to know on your central nervous system. Buddha also got the same thing. Now Buddha itself means a realized soul, the one who has known on his central nervous system. Everything is just the same. He says, Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. Means I surrender myself to the realized soul. Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami. Now here is, you see in this green part, is the Dhamma. Dhamma means the religion. Not religion the way we know, but our valencies. Human beings have 10 valencies. Animals have 9. And matter has 8. We have 10 valencies which are built in within this area, which we call as Bhavasagara, is the ocean of illusion. When the Kundalini rises, she enlightens them. And such a person becomes righteous. He just becomes. You don't have to say, you become righteous. He just becomes. It's the question of becoming. For example, you may follow any religion. Christian, Hindu, Muslim, anything. You can commit any sin. There's nothing binding on you. With that brand, you cannot be banned. But with this, you just don't do wrong things. As the saints have never done wrong. So this is what is the Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami. Means this is what I surrender to. Then the third one, he says that Sangham Sharanam Gacchami, to the collectivity. I surrender myself to the collectivity. Now collectivity, you cannot feel it unless until you become the spirit. Because then only you get the collective consciousness. So the whole preaching of Buddha is only practiced when you become one with the divine. Otherwise you cannot. Otherwise it becomes another Buddhism, Christianism, this isms, that isms. These isms are outside. They are nothing to do with inside.
Can you give us your views on reincarnation?
What incarnation?
She would like you to explain whether or not there is reincarnation.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course, you see. There has to be. Christ himself has said, I'll again come again. If there was no reincarnation, how could he come again? We are all passing through different, we call them yonis, means species. But actually after passing through species, also after human level, also we pass through different experiences. And gradually through trial and error, we understand. That's what it is. That when you are here, you are now seeking. At the time of Christ, how many were there? Very few. Very few people were seeking. Today you are here because you have passed through. That's trial and error business. Many a time in that cycle. And now you are there to seek. And because you are a seeker, it's your right to have it. But it's not important what incarnation you were last. This is the best incarnation where you are going to get your realization. It's like any machinery when you make it. It passes through various you can say stages in the same way. But now you are at the best stage. I think the best time has come. And this is the time when we call as Kali Yuga. It's the worst time. The modern times are regarded as the worst. Kali Yuga. Ghor Kali Yuga means the worst of all. But this Kali Yuga was once described in a Nala Damayanti thing, where Nala and Damayanti were husband and wife. And this Kali is the one who is the ruler of these modern times, had created a problem between them of illusion. And that's how they separated. And they say that Nala one day got hold of this Kali and he said, now I'm going to kill you. He said, see, you can kill me, but first you must know my importance. He said, what is your importance? You confuse people, and with your confusion, you have created such a problem between me and my wife. So he said, see, my importance is such that when I will come on this earth and I will rule in Kali Yuga, that is the time those people who are searching me in the hills and dales and mountains will become householders, ordinary people, and receive their realization. Receive their realization. And this is exactly what is happening today, is that you are receiving your realization. So this Kali Yuga has to now come to another state which we call Satya Yuga, means the time of truth. Between these, always between from one time to another time, as we call them yugas, there is a gap, and that gap time we call it as Kruta Yuga. When something happens, something starts acting, and this Kruta Yuga is special one, where it is simultaneous running with the Kali Yuga, and is the one where this all-pervading power has become extremely active. And that's why it is helping us to get this mass realization. Now, we should not miss it. We should not miss it. It's not like that you should be alone. I mean, if you read any one of these books, you'll be shocked. You have to be alone. You have to stay in the house. You have to disappear into some wilderness, stay there alone, give up your food, give up your wife, everybody. Then you go to Himalayas, and then you hide yourself in some sort of a cave, take out all your clothes, and you'll get moksha. You'll die in any case. Horrible. So this is the description of the... So the people used to do that, one life, another life, like that, to get their realization, to show how earnest they were about it. But now, thank God, this Kruta Yuga has started, where this all-pervading power has become so powerful that this is happening. This mass realization is taking place. May God bless you. Now, you have some problem? Did you get it?
Creative inspiration. Would you repeat that? Does creative inspiration arise with collective consciousness?
Yeah, it is actually, you see, what happens when the Kundalini rises, you see there, she rises above this red point, and when she passes into this yellow one, this is called as Swadhisthana center. Actually, in the medical terminology, we can say it looks after the aortic plexus on the physical side. But this is the center for creativity. And when this is enlightened, you become extremely creative. So the consciousness of creativity, because if you are an artist, say for example, you have the deftness, you have the technique, but the creativity comes through this center. And because you have used your limited energy of creativity, you sometimes get exhausted. Sometimes I have seen people get a mental block. They don't know what to do. But with this nourishment all the time flowing in you, you become tremendously creative. I know of so many musicians who were extremely ordinary musicians. If you know Indian musicians like Kamsad Ali. He came to Sahaja, he was an ordinary musician. Now he will tell you about me. Then the Safat Hussain, so many of them. Like that, even dancers, musicians, artists, so many have achieved great heights by coming to Sahaja. And people who are not even musicians, or who are not even poets, like Mr. Salve, he is a chartered accountant. He has never known what is Urdu is, what is poetry. He is very good at mathematics. And he is the one who has become a poet now, and a poet of a very high quality. You don't know what you are. That's what I'm saying. It all starts expressing itself. All these centers become like flowers of fragrance, of all kinds of dynamism. There's someone. It's too far.
Can I paraphrase that? I think she's asking about other organisations that offer spiritual paths. Are they sincere? Are they effective?
I mean, if you are asking about a particular one, I can say, but very easy to make them out. The can you hear?
Light, divine light.
Oh, horrible. Terrible things. 16-year-old, that boy, isn't it? He had 58 Rolls Royces. And he made people starve for that. I was in London and some of these boys were eating potatoes for the whole year. And he has made them mad and recluses. Horrible. How can you believe anyone who wants to have Rolls Royces? If you are impressed by Rolls Royces and diamonds and things like that, then you must know that God is all about that. What does God care for Rolls Royce? He's a devil, that's all he is. Thank God, he is at least sensibly made all his money and settled down. Others will not go till they are finished. Like Rajneesh. Oh no, the one better than the other. Even this TM is the worst thing. TM is the worst thing. You have no idea as to how terrible they are. I got some people from TM. He was the head of the Academy of Flying in Roanoke, in Scotland. This gentleman, Peter Pierce, he was the head, and his deputy and his wife and his child all got epilepsy. They came to me. They stayed in my house. Thank God that those days my husband was touring, so I could cure them. And if you ask this gentleman, he's going to write a book about, he's already writing and they're going to publish it. You know, to begin with, they were told 3 mantras. Now, if you are Indians, you can understand very better. But it was a secret, a very big secret, not to be told to anyone. You had to go through 7 doors, and the fellow was sitting there. He's only 4 feet 2 inches or something, sitting on top there and giving a mantra. And the mantras were Inga, Pinga, Tinga. Now, Inga means in local language, it's not Sanskrit. There's nothing like mantra in it. Inga means a person, no, it's a scorpion bite. Inga. The Pinga is when the person gets possessed, he goes round his Pinga, and Tinga is when you show like this. For that, they paid £300 to begin with. Then £6,000 they paid for flying in the air. Now, this is the stupidity of the seekers. Why do you want to fly in the air about 3 feet around? I mean, it's a mess. Supposing you have such people going around in the traffic, what will happen? They promised 3 feet will do. They promised it. Nobody does that. They all broke their bottoms, and there are so many cases against them. But he charged 6,000 pounds, and you know the things they got. I mean, if you hear that, you feel like laughing and then crying. Because first 6 days they had to take the water that has boiled the potatoes. Then they had to take the rind of the potatoes. Then last day only the potatoes, without any salt, without anything. And this is how they paid 6,000 pounds. They have crores and crores of people. And their character is so loose. We have another one here, Muktanand, the guru, this Guru Mai's guru. Actually, he's her father. You see, if you read it, you won't have food for 8 days. Such a dirty man he was. If they have no character, if they are misbehaving like this, how do you believe? It's only the West people believe such people. He mesmerizes, all right. They mesmerize. Must be mesmerism. Now it's high time you understand that if you have to achieve anything, first find out how are the disciples. What do they know? What is their knowledge? What have they gained? I'm your mother. I'll say, all right, child, go. But what did you get out of it? Only you emptied your purse, that's all. I would say that I've been warning people since 1970, openly. They have never said a word against me. They cannot file any suit against me, nothing of the kind. But people don't listen to me. They like to purchase God. They think the Guru is in my pocket. Now, if you are a real seeker, if you are truthful to yourself, then remember, don't identify yourself with nonsensical things. Just receive your self-realization. You are so precious, and you have come here at a very, very special time. Very special time. Don't miss it. You have been seekers of ages. You are not going to waste your life like this. You must know the value of your life, which is, at present moment, is the highest. This time, if you miss it, not only that you will miss, but you will be responsible for this great mistake. Because the emancipation of human beings are only possible through this transformation, which is before you, which you can achieve. So respect yourself. Respect your being. And know that you cannot pay for such an invaluable thing like spirituality. It's invaluable. Anna.
He would like to know if there is any person on earth at the present time who has become completely the Spirit.
Yes, there is. But first of all, you become, then you will know. No use telling you, because you see, Christ told that I am the Son of God. He did say, which is a fact, which was the truth. He was the Spirit. He was the Logos. He was the Omkara, no doubt. But what happened? They crucified him. Best is that you become the Spirit yourself and know what it is. In the light of your Spirit, you will know. Otherwise, no. Only through your Spirit you can know, is said in Sanskrit by Shri Krishna, Atman Nevatmana Tushta. You see, only through your Atma only you can know. Through your Spirit only you can know. Otherwise you cannot know. That's the only instrument which is knowledgeable. What's the question you have? Answer.
If you are a seeker, but you are filled with self-doubt and you feel that only other people can get their enlightenment, can you prevent yourself from getting enlightened?
Why do you want to prevent? Why?
Because she doubts.
There should be no doubt about yourself. Why you have doubts about yourself? I've already told you you are a human being. Have you doubt about it? You are a human being or not? All right. Every human being is capable of getting this realization. So you are a human being and be assured that you will get it. All right? If you do not have self-confidence, you cannot push yourself into it, isn't it? You have to have your self-confidence. This I request you again and again. Must have self-confidence. You all can get your self-realization. This is also another modern stuff, is to all the time feel guilty or to doubt yourself. Why should you doubt yourself? You exist, don't you? Please have no doubts about yourself. If you are a seeker, you will get it. Definitely. I assure you. All right? Nobody should doubt. Why should we doubt ourselves after all? Because some conditioning is on our head. People tell us, you are a sinner, you have done this wrong, that wrong. I always say, who says such things are the greater sinners. They have no business to pass such remarks. After all, you are human beings. And this all-pervading power about which I am saying is the ocean of forgiveness. Ocean of forgiveness. What mistakes can you commit that it cannot forgive? So please have full confidence in yourself. All right?
Does Scientology have any message for the true seeker?
Horrible. Oh my God. One Sahaja traveled with a Scientologist lady. And he started telling her about Sahaja, and she said, all right, you give me realizations. And he just thought that he will be all right. He'll be doing with her something all right. He came to me, I said, you don't touch her, don't touch her. Let her work on the photograph or something, but don't touch her, I'll manage her. But he thought he's very brave. You see, just he was in Sahaja, just. And he started vomiting blood, and he died. The Scientology, if you take the name, even I am really frightened of it. You don't know how, what they do, God alone knows. And there are so many stories, they are not allowed to enter in to America. They are not even in England also, there are lots of cases on them. They earn money and they can advertise better because they earn money. That's all. And we are brainwashed by that. Even to take their name is horrible.
Is there any other, what should we say, being on the earth that can hold the spirit other than human beings? I believe what he's saying is there, are human beings the only creatures on this earth with the spirit?
Yes. Yes, I understand. You see, you cannot give realization to chickens or to goats or to anyone. It's only the human beings have that kind of a brain. There's a big theory about it, and I have also given a big lecture on that, how we have a conical brain like Brisbane, how it works out. Now,
Need another night to do that.
right?
He said, could we explain the diagram and what these various centers...
Now, you see what I'm saying, somehow I always have one program in every city of Australia, I don't know how. But you see, this cannot be explained in a one little lecture, all right? But all this can be explained. And you'll know all about it. And also you'll master it. You'll become your own master, and you'll really be the master of this pure knowledge, no doubt. But it takes little time for you to understand. You have to come to our centers where people are quite equipped for it. But first thing is that you should get your realization established. Say there are these lights here, so many lights are here. So when we come inside, we have to just switch on one button and then all the lights come in. But supposing if I have to tell you how this was discovered, how it came here in Brisbane, and how the whole organization, you will get a headache. First you get the light, because it's all built in, it's all there, just ready. So let us have that first, and then in that light you learn everything. It's a very subtle knowledge, but you'll be amazed how these people have learned it. It's very amazing. And in such a short time, they know everything. Moreover, it is very surprising how they speak, sing in Marathi language, Hindi language, English language, French. This also in Sanskrit. Sanskrit is the most difficult language, even Indians can't speak. But the way they have picked up all these things is very surprising. And the Indian music, you see, for us, it was impossible to teach anything to an Englishman when they were there. Nothing could be taught to them. Even one word of Hindi was difficult. If you had to say that, close the door. So we had to say a sentence in English. There was a banker. If you say there was a banker, that means close the door, because darwaza band kar. It was so difficult, they could not, you see, our language is extremely difficult and is a tongue twister, I should say. How these people have picked up in such a short time. You won't believe, even the children. Sanskrit is such a difficult language. It's very surprising because of the light. It's very surprising. And French speak very good English, and English speak very good French. It's something you cannot understand. All right, now should we have this self-realization, which is only for 10 minutes. You have to be here. But there's one thing, as I told you, I respect your freedom. And those who do not want to have it should please leave the hall, would be better. Those who want to have it are very welcome. Don't have to do anything much about it. You'll have to understand two conditions, as I told you before also, that firstly, you are not guilty. In no way to condemn yourself. But you have to be very pleasantly placed towards yourself, because you are a human being and born at this important time. The second condition you have is that you should have full confidence in yourself and that you have to forgive people in general, not to think about them individually. Logically, whether you forgive or don't forgive, you don't do anything. But if you don't forgive, then you play into wrong hands. It's a myth. You don't do anything when you don't forgive. But if you play into the hands of wrong people, you torture yourself, while those who have tortured you are quite happy people. So just say in your heart, I forgive everyone, without even thinking individuals, because that also is hurting. Have full confidence that you all are going to get realization. Don't doubt yourself at all. Now, can I request you to take out your shoes, because this Mother Earth really helps us a lot. Right now it's too much here. Now first, we'll tell you how you yourself have to raise your own Kundalini. Yourself. How you have to nourish your own centers. The left side is the power of your desire, while Kundalini is the pure desire. Means after that desire is fulfilled, all other desires are negated. You jump from one desire to another desire. You're never satisfied. So, wants are not satiable in general. But this want which is within us is satiable. So, you put your left hand towards me, which represents your desire to have realization. You have to sit extremely comfortably. Put both the feet, not go to Himalayas and all that. Just be very comfortable. And we have to nourish our centers with our right hand. So first we'll have to put our right hand on our heart. Both the feet apart, because these are two powers. So put the hand on your heart, because in the heart resides the Spirit. It's the reflection of God Almighty. Then we take our hand, right hand. This we keep all the time, the left side, like this. The left hand we take in the upper portion of our abdomen. On the left hand side. We work only on the left hand side. Upper portion of our abdomen, left hand side, a little bit press it. This is the center of our mastery, which is created by all the great masters and prophets. Then we take down our hand in the lower portion of our abdomen on the left hand side. This is the center of pure knowledge. Pure knowledge which builds in our awareness, which builds in our central nervous system, by which we know how to handle this power and use it. It's an innate knowledge. Like we have eyes, we can see, and we know how to use our eyes in the same way. Our awareness becomes a master of this pure knowledge. Then we raise our hand again on the upper portion of our abdomen, on the left hand side. Then again on your heart. Then we take our hand from front like this into the corner of your shoulder and your neck and turn your head to your right. Now this is the center gets into trouble when you feel guilty. As a result of that, you get horrible diseases like angina, also all the lethargic organ troubles, and also you get spondylitis. So now, understand it's very dangerous to feel guilty. Put your right hand towards your right side. Your head towards your right and your right hand on the left hand side in the corner of your shoulder and your neck. There should be no confusion about it. Now you have to take your hand on your forehead across and put down your head on it slowly as far as you can go. Put down. This is the center where you have to forgive everyone in general. Now, take your right hand on the back side of your head, just on the back side of your head, where the optic lobe is. Now, push back your head slowly upward as far as possible. Now, this is the center where, without feeling guilty, without counting your mistakes, you have to ask forgiveness from this all-pervading divine power if you have done any mistakes. Now, stretch your hand. Just now you have to see how we are doing it, and later on we'll be closing our eyes. Now, stretch your palm nicely and put the center of your palm on top of the fontanelle bone area, which was a soft bone in your childhood, the center of your palm. Now, press it hard by pushing your fingers outward. Push your fingers outward. This is important, so that there's a good pressure on your scalp. Now, bend your head as far as possible. As far as possible. Now, put a good pressure and move your scalp very slowly, clockwise, 7 times. Now please move your scalp, not your hand so much as the scalp. 7 times clockwise, slowly. Now, that's all we have to do. You can take out your spectacles. If you find anything tight on your neck or on your waist, you can loosen it a little bit Please put both feet away from each other. Sit comfortably in a straight way, neither bending too much or coming forward. Put your left hand towards me. Now, right hand on your heart. Here, you have to close your eyes, and please don't open them till I tell you. Just close your eyes. Now, put your hand, please, on your heart where resides the spirit, and ask me in your heart, silently, a question 3 times, which is very fundamental. Mother, am I the spirit? You can call me Mother or Mataji. Mother, am I the spirit? Shri Mataji, am I the spirit? Ask this question 3 times. Now, if you are the spirit, you are your master. So please take your right hand in the upper portion of your abdomen, on the left hand side, and press it hard, and ask another question 3 times. Mother, am I my own master? Shri Mataji, am I my own master? Ask this question 3 times, please. I have already told you that I respect your freedom and I cannot force pure knowledge on you. You have to ask for it. So please put your right hand in the low portion of your abdomen. And here you have to say 6 times, because this center has got 6 petals. Please say 6 times. Mother, please give me pure knowledge. Pure knowledge is beyond all black art, is absolutely in juxtaposition with all these horrible things that people do. Please, Mother, give me pure knowledge. Please say it 6 times. As soon as you ask for pure knowledge, the Kundalini starts rising. So we have to nourish our higher centers with full confidence. Now raise your right hand. Raise your right hand, the upper portion of your abdomen on the left hand side. And here, you have to say with full confidence 10 times, Mother, I am my own master. Please say it with full confidence. Shri Mataji, I am my own master. Say it 10 times, please. Now, you have to know that the greatest truth about you is that you are not this body, not this mind, not this intellect, nor this conditioning, your ego, but you are the pure spirit. So now raise your right hand on your heart. And here, you again say with full confidence, Mother, I am the spirit. Please say that 12 times. Mother, I am the Spirit. This all-pervading power is the ocean of knowledge, is the ocean of love, compassion and bliss. But above all, it is the ocean of forgiveness. And you cannot commit any mistake that cannot be dissolved by this great power of forgiveness. So now, forgive yourself and raise your right hand in the corner of your neck and your shoulder and turn your head to your right. Here, you have to say 16 times with full confidence in yourself, Mother, I am not guilty at all. Say that. Say 16 times, Mother, I am not guilty at all. I have already told you, logically, whether you forgive or don't forgive, you do not do anything. But if you do not forgive, then you play into wrong hands and you are tortured by yourself, and the people who have tortured you are quite happy. So please throw away this myth from your mind completely, and now put your hand on your forehead across and put down your head completely as far as possible. And here you say, Mother, I forgive everyone in general. Don't think about it. This is very important. I think people are still not forgiving. You have to forgive. It's a very great weapon. You have got a very good weapon to fight of forgiveness. So please forgive, otherwise you will not get your realization. Please forgive from your heart everyone in general, without thinking about anyone. Please forgive. The most important thing is to forgive, because this is a very constricted center, and if you don't forgive, it won't open out. So please forgive. Please forgive. Now, take back your right hand on the back side of your head and put your head on the hand, properly balancing, and push it upward as far as possible. Here, without feeling guilty, without counting mistakes, just for your satisfaction, you have to say, O divine power, if I have done mistake, please forgive me, knowingly or unknowingly. If I have done mistakes, please forgive me. Say it again with heart, not how many times. Say it from your heart, not how many times. Any mistakes I have committed, please forgive me. Now, stretch your palm. Stretch your palm fully. Put the center of your palm on top of the fontanelle bone area, which was a soft bone in your childhood. Now, push back your fingers nicely so there's a good pressure on your scalp. Now, put down your head. Here again, I respect your freedom. I cannot force self-realization on you. So you have to ask for it. Now move your scalp slowly, clockwise, 7 times, saying in your heart, Shri Mataji, please give me self-realization. Saying 7 times, Shri Mataji, please give me self-realization. Now, please take down your hands. Slowly open your eyes. Slowly open your eyes. Put your hands up like that and watch me without thinking. Now, please put your right hand towards me like this and bend your head and see for yourself with the left hand if there's a cool or a hot breeze coming out of your head. Now don't doubt, because there's air conditioning but it cannot come out of your head. So please see for yourself if there's a cool or a hot breeze coming out of your fontanelle bone area. Move your hand. Some people feel it much away, some closer, but don't put your hand on your head. Away from it, you will feel a cool breeze or a hot breeze coming out of it. Sometimes the heat has to go out. Now, please put left hand towards me like this and bend your head again. And with the right hand now, you see for yourself. You have to certify yourself. See for yourself if there's a cool breeze coming out of your fontanelle bone area. See clearly. Now, again once more, put the right hand towards me and see for yourself. Bend your head. Nicely you bend your head. And then see for yourself if there's a cool breeze coming out of your fontanelle bone area, maybe hot. Now, raise your both the hands towards the sky like this. Push back your head and ask a question, Mother, is this the cool breeze of the Holy Ghost? Or, Mother, is this the all-pervading power of God's love? Or, Mother, is this the Parama Chaitanya? Just ask any one of these questions 3 times. Any one of these questions 3 times in your heart. Now take back your hands. All those who have felt cool breeze or hot breeze on their hands, on their fingertips, or through the fontanelle bone area, please raise both your hands. Look at that. You didn't feel it? All right. May God bless you. I bow to all of you, to all. One thing I have to tell you, that this is a collective happening, and we have to be in the collective. You cannot say that I'll sit at home and Mother, I will do the Sahaja Yoga. You cannot. You have to come to the collective. Like one nail is cut out, then it doesn't grow. In the same way, you have to be part and parcel of one being. And luckily we have very nice people here whom you can meet, and they'll have programs, but I don't know when they will tell you. Please, and master it. You have to become the master. You can become masters in no time.